What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing a classic revisit of the Galaxy Note 9. This is always my favorite phone to revisit every year. And yeah, so how is this phone doing in 2024? This is considered one of the best Samsung phones that Samsung has ever released. And it still always surprises me every time I pick this phone up here. So I always get like a ton of questions about like super old Android phones and do the apps still work, and everything still works on here. I've never been hacked on this phone. Like, this phone has not gotten security updates in a long time. You can still play a lot of games on here. I'll show you guys. You can still play PUBG at 60 frames at smooth. It is still a very impressive phone here. So hardware wise, this phone is still really nice to look at here. So it's got a full premium design, and of course it does look like an older, flagship. Of course, compared to the newer phones, you got that old school fingerprint scanner on the back here, which works really well. What's pretty cool about the biometrics on this phone is that there's also a little iris scanner on here as well too, that'll scan your eyes, and it works pretty well. So that's something that I always thought was cool here. And what's really awesome about the Note 9 here is that the hardware is really solid, right? But you have a headphone jack and you have SD card support on here. And honestly, this is a very well built phone. Like, I've had it, I've never put it in a case, and it still looks pretty good. And the S Pen on here looks really great, still works really well, and no issues with that. And yeah, it just feels like a modern phone as far as using the phone. And honestly, you could say that it's better in some aspects than newer phones having a headphone jack and having expandable storage on here as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this display. What I always thought was what was interesting with Samsung's panels is that they are really ahead of their time here. So this phone, coming out in 2018 of August, it still has a really good panel. And the cool thing that Samsung did was they never put a notch on these phones. So they just waited till they could implement the punch hole display with the Note 10 Plus. And you can see this phone, it still looks great. You don't have any type of punch hole or notch. Of course, the bezels are going to be thicker, but it still looks really good. Color wise, this is still a really nice, vibrant, colorful panel. And spec wise, there's again nothing that feels outdated about this phone. You could probably say the lack of any high refresh rate, of course, but it still looks really good. It's a 1440p panel, it's Super AMOLED, it's HDR10, and then we also do have a 516 for the PPI. And yeah, it's Gorilla Glass 5, which I don't have any major scratches on this phone, which I've been pretty impressed by, because with my Pixels and iPhone, the newer ones, got a ton of scratches. This one, let me wipe it down. This one, I don't have any deep scratches on this one, which I always thought was crazy. So, this Gorilla Glass 5 is really been holding up for a while. But yeah, so one thing that a lot of people don't like about the display is that it is a curved panel. Now, Samsung has completely gotten rid of curved panels with the S24 Ultra. The biggest complaint about the curved panel was, the applying the screen protectors and stuff like that. A lot of people hate it compared to applying it to a flat display. So definitely understandable. And yeah, so that's one thing. And going over One UI, you can see this phone got its last MeasUreOS update with Android 10, and again, doesn't look too old compared to what's going on now with One UI. But yeah, a lot of the essential stuff is still here. Probably the biggest update, and this is why I say software updates are a bit overrated, because your biggest change with One UI recently is really the Galaxy AI. A lot of the stuff, and if you really wanted to get AI on this phone, you could really just get ChatGPT. It has the AI assistant, and to me it's better than Apple's intelligence, Google's AI and stuff like that. So you could just do this, you're not gonna get all the, and honestly, you can get a lot of the AI's features just using third-party apps. That's why I said the software stuff is overrated, because Samsung desktop support is here, secure folder, screen recorder, all this stuff. If it's not here, a lot of stuff, because it's Android, you can get it from a third party, right? And like I said, yeah, never been hacked. I'll just keep the apps updated on here, and everything has been, you know, pretty smooth for the most part. What's cool about the Note 9 is that performance is still pretty solid on this device, especially when it comes to opening applications and when it comes to overall, you know, casually gaming. Obviously, you're not going to get like crazy, you know, performance out of this phone. It's a Snapdragon 845, 128 gigs of internal storage, 6 gigs of RAM, and it can play PUBG, you know, pretty smoothly at this smooth extreme. So you still play at 60 frames, and it's pretty solid for the most part. So performance wise, I think this is still a very solid chipset, you know, all these years later. You can casually game on here just fine. This is also something that's really not that surprising, and that is the cameras on this phone. So the cameras, it's pretty funny because this phone, it could take some really good shots where I was looking at the pictures, I'm like, wow, that's very impressive for a 2018 flagship. And then some of the shots, I'm like, okay, you could definitely see like the, you know, the age of this phone, right? And that was really with the selfies. The selfies were super soft, and low light photography was definitely the thing that you were like, okay, this is definitely an older phone. But man, if you put this thing in some good lighting, or just, it don't even have to be like sunny outside, you can still get a really good shot out of this phone. It's a 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel telephoto. There's 2x optical zoom. I think the max zoom here is 10 times as well. And then you have 4K 60 video, 8 megapixel standard, and then you have that dedicated iris scanner up front. And yeah, it's 1440p at 30 frames for the front camera. And yeah, it's pretty cool experience with the cameras. I thought they were pretty solid, even for 2024. You can pretty much get a, you know, you can get a decent shot out of this phone. It's not gonna like blow you away, but I thought it was solid, you know, for the most part. I think the shots pretty much speak for themselves. All right, so let's check out these speakers at max volume. That's pretty solid. The bass from the top speaker is pretty decent. Overall, we get a nice balanced sound. Yeah, not bad at all. And as far as the battery life goes, the battery life, of course, is an older phone. You're gonna have battery degrade and stuff like that. But battery life is not too bad on this phone. It's not terrible. But yeah, it's, you know, one of those phones you gotta charge up for sure here. And the battery life, I think the battery specs, you know, not crazy impressive for today. It's 4,000 milliamps, 15-watt charging. There is a wireless charging on here as well too, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So honestly, like I said, if you like put like ChatGPT on here, right, and it'll make it feel like a you know, a newer phone. I might do a video, you know, just showing you how to make your old flagship feel a lot newer, because I mean, like this right here, you got your, you know, AI assistant right here that you can, you know, mess around with. You can, you know, activate this, because a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, should I upgrade for the AI features? I'm like, not really. You can just download this this app, and then you can create images, you can get advice, summarize text. So it's interesting that, you know, people would upgrade for that one reason, which you really shouldn't. So what do you guys think?